Good afternoon again. I'm Alan Hughes. I'm the Solutions Director here at Ascari. I'm delighted to say that today's session on Lynq MES and how it works with SAP Business One is the subject for today's presentation. I'm joined today by John. John, can you hear me?
I can hear you, Alan. Good to speak to you.
Excellent. Superb. So without further ado, I will hand control to yourself so we can start learning more about Lynq MES. It's a particularly exciting solution that adds to the functionality in SAP Business One considerably and is really aimed at manufacturers who are looking to get more from their investment. So I will make you the presenter, John.
Thank you.
And it's over to you.
Okay, so I'm gonna just share my screen with you, and hopefully you're seeing my screen. Wonderful. Okay, yeah, so just a quick introduction really. My name's John Greener, Head of Channel Sales here at Lynq. I've been with Lynq for getting on for 18 years, and I work with partners like Ascari to find solutions to challenges that exist in the customer base around manufacturing operations management. So just a bit about Lynq here. Lynq is a leading provider of commercial MES software. We extend and enrich SAP Business One with a plug-and-play manufacturing operations management solution to provide an MES for a fraction of the typical cost. Today, our software improves the effectiveness of more than 50,000 resources, increasing efficiency, productivity, and profitability of manufacturers. Our software is highly configurable and currently supports both discrete and process-based manufacturers across 15 industries and in more than 10 countries. The solution that I'm going to present to you today is aligned to the international standard for manufacturing operations management, IEC 62264. And the really important thing to take from this slide really is this model that you're seeing on the screen. The resource management and definition management is essentially coming from your master data in Business One. Resource management is essentially your employees, machines, work centers, tools, etc., that you maintain within your master data of Business One. Definition management, products, bills of materials, route stages, etc., again maintained in Business One. So what Lynq does is going to pull that master data into the Lynq MES solution through the approved integration, certified integration, and then we're going to perform detailed planning and scheduling, dispatching, execution management, data collection, tracking, and performance analysis. So where does Lynq MES sit really? So right at the very top of the screen, you're seeing level 4 Business One. That's for business planning and administration. And then at level 3, you've got MES and MES manufacturing operations management there. And you can see here that MES is connecting Business One really with the plant floor, with the manufacturing operations side of things. So we provide a fully integrated closed loop planning and production system, which, as it says here, accelerates digital transformation and an automation initiatives to achieve delivery, quality, and financial goals. We provide a single solution that helps you to plan, track, automate, analyze, and optimize. By planning, we're essentially talking about finite capacity planning and scheduling of production orders, and essentially looking at your available capacity, resource availability, material availability, minimizing things like setup and changeover time, but maximizing the loading of your resources, and of course, all importantly, making sure you're on time with your order fulfillment. Once you create that production plan, the plan is dispatched out to the rest of the business. So essentially, we're writing back new start dates and new end dates on scheduled production orders and stages. That plan is out there visible pretty much anywhere in the business. Typically out on the shop floor, most customers will have 10, 12-inch tablet screens positioned around the shop floor near the work centres or machines. So when you come up to a terminal, you will see exactly what's been scheduled to your work centre, so you can clock in, report production, issue materials, capture labour time, machine time, scrap quantities, scrap reasons, etc. From these highly configurable terminals on the shop floor. And again, through the certified integration, we're actually writing that data back into Business One. Now, we have manual data capture, but we also have automatic data capture from machines and other devices. So we have over 140 industrial drivers to connect with the most common PLC and IO devices on the market today. So if you're looking at potentially digitalising your factory floor and eliminating manual processes, capturing data from machines, that's also a possibility with Lynq. So manual and automatic data capture. Over the top of this, we have live tracking of the employees, the equipment, and the production orders, so you can see exactly who's doing what, where, and when, what the status is of a production order, whether a machine has gone down or there's a problem that is affecting that execution of the production plan that you created. So we're all about adherence to plan and the ability to digitalise the factory floor and eliminate manual processes. Now, the whole point of the Lynq MES solution is to improve the effectiveness of your resources, your employees, your machines, etc. So what we do in this case is provide the de facto key performance indicators in manufacturing and the underlying metrics, providing analysis around overall equipment effectiveness, overall labour effectiveness, and total effective equipment performance. You've got the loading, availability, performance, and quality metrics there that feed into those KPIs. In addition to that, we provide loss visualizations, so you can see where your losses are coming from in your manufacturing process, so that you can look at continuous improvement countermeasures to minimize loss where you can, and again, ultimately to improve the effectiveness of your resources there. We further optimize manufacturing operations by providing things like paperless shop floor, so you can open up documents digitally out on those terminals on the shop floor. We have configurable alerts, so for instance, if an employee's effectiveness it slips below the threshold that you've determined, an alert can be sent to the supervisor. And we have collaborative messaging, so you can send messages from the top floor to the shop floor to keep production moving. Now, all of this is provided in a single closed loop solution. We don't have a scheduling tool that sits in a silo that doesn't talk with the shop floor or vice versa. So everything is connected to get the value from this solution. Now, this is just really reaffirming the fact that we have certified integration with SAP, both HANA and SQL 9.3 and above, and then version 10, I think, on SQL side of things there. We have an integration white paper that we'll be happy to share with you. Again, there's the ability to connect with machines, and also the ability to integrate with other applications via simple webhooks that make it very easy to connect. So a typical example would be where you might have a label printer on the shop floor and you want to print labels off when you're performing a job receipt and so on. So we can hook into web applications and make things like that easy to connect to. We further provide customization using the Microsoft Power Platform, Power BI, Power Apps. An example would be maybe where a customer wants to record quality type information at a particular stage out on the shop floor. So we can create very sort of tailored, configured forms for the specific needs of our clients. So What I'm going to do shortly is provide you an overview of the Lynq MES solution. Obviously, with the time allowing, I can't go through everything today, but you know, if you are interested in diving deeper, we'll happily go through one-to-one demonstrations with you. Just get in touch with the team at Ascari to do that. So what I'm going to do now is stop sharing my screen momentarily while I switch to my demo environment. So give me a second there, and yeah, so now I'm going to share again, show screen, and hopefully you're seeing my screen. So now I'm in the Lynq MES, Lynq Manufacturing Operations solution. Again, it's predominantly web-based, can be deployed on-prem or private cloud. So that's a typical deployment. And as you can see again, from the menu structure, it's aligned to that international standard for manufacturing operations management. So you've got your detailed scheduling, your dispatching of that production plan and various reports here, data capture, and you've got the tracking, live tracking of employees, equipment and production orders, jobs as we call them. And then you've got the analysis at the individual resource level, and then you've got factory analysis or continuous improvement there in the main menu there. But again, this can be deployed on any device with a browser, so it's quite quick to set up. As soon as we've connected to your B1 database, again, we are using your standard manufacturing data, you know, your bills of materials, route stages, products, your resources again, and of course, once we connect with the database, we're pulling that data in to plan and schedule production. I'm going to go into the only part of this application that is desktop, and it's deliberately desktop because it's a bit like comparing Excel online with Excel on your desktop. You get more power through the desktop. So the planning and scheduling, or the advanced planning and scheduling tool, is obviously doing lots of calculations, is quite heavy in that respect in terms of what it does. So we're going to go into the APS just to take you around the screen really, so that you understand what you're seeing. Right at the very top, you're looking at the main menu, very easy to navigate and intuitive to use. This is the database that I'm connected with. So once this is installed, it connects with the database, and as soon as it's connecting to the database, it will automatically start to bring in production orders that you create in Business One. Okay, so you can set the frequency at how often you want it to bring those production orders in. It could be every minute, every 5 minutes, 10 minutes. It's entirely up to you. You also have a manual refresh from the database if there are any changes there that you want to bring into what you're scheduling. Now in the top area, this is the task panel where you're seeing all of your live demand, all of your production orders, and obviously lots of data here, so you can sort, group and filter on any attribute at the top. You can even bring in data from Business One. For instance, you might want to bring in user-defined fields and use them in your scheduling. You're seeing a lot of my production orders here that are released, but typically they'll come in as planned, and once we save and publish our plan, we automatically release the production order in Business One through the integration that we have there in place. So yeah, you're seeing lots of production orders here. You could sort, group and filter. So for instance, I might want to group by item like this. You see the data type start to take shape, or it might be by customer or sales order number or project or any other attribute. Quite easy to do. In this case, I might be using my marker here that I've got, where I'm looking at different statuses really, or what I think are statuses. And I can schedule that group data onto the planning board. If I don't like that grouping, I'm just dragging the attribute back to where it was. And also I can apply filters to the data. Now I've applied a filter on this marker that I've created, and you can see I don't want to see any production orders that don't have a status on them. Yeah, at the moment I'm looking at 41 production orders that are filtered, and if I remove that filter here, you can see I've gone back up to 105. So very easy to apply filters again to your data and to get to where you need to be. So then let's go back to that, back to 41. We also have a workflow, and this allows you to create custom rules and have the rules predefined, if you like, preset. So you'll see your rules along the top here, and every day as you come in, you'll just follow those rules. A typical example would be, a customer that might be in the food industry where they need to schedule by allergens and formulas. So you can create those priorities, those rules, and have them appear here, and that negates the need to sort, group, and filter your data here. The important thing is that when a production order comes through, it will have a start date and a due date that Business One provides, and that's typically based on estimated lead time, infinite capacity, and what we're doing here is finite capacity planning and scheduling. So we'll end up with new start dates and new due dates on scheduled orders and operations. And of course, we're bringing in the production order and the route stages, and you can see here the work centers that we'll be scheduling to. Information that's important is of course runtime, whether there's setup time, wait time, but yeah, so and the number of resources required there. So here are the route stages essentially that we're going to be scheduling onto the planning board. The other thing to note is that Lynq automatically looks at material availability in a time-phased manner. So be looking at what materials are available on the BOM for this production order based on the date, and it could be based on the scheduled date. And so if I drill into the icon, the material availability icon, it will show me in this case that I have a partial shortage on this particular material, and I can drill in to that material shortage and see the opening, planned in, planned out, closing balance, and so on. And I can potentially look at any purchase orders coming in to replenish that stock and when that's coming in, so I can make a decision as to whether I schedule it this week or the following week. This is dynamic in that it's constantly making those calculations, going back to Business One to look at the inventory position and give the production planner a clear heads up on material availability there. I've got some tabs along the middle here that we talked about jobs here, production orders. Then I've got related jobs, and the related jobs are essentially where you might have a relationship between a parent production order, which might have multiple sub orders, and we can schedule the top level parent, have the lower level bills of material schedule in sequence. So if you look at this example 195, if I open 195 up, you'll see we've got 196 and 197, which are the sub orders related to 195. So I can take this, schedule it forwards, backwards, automatically onto the planning board, and it'll schedule all the related production orders in sequence on the planning board there as well. So it keeps the hierarchy aligned and visible on the graphical planning board below. The third tab along, just very quickly here, is what we call a what if order tab, or capable to promise. So for instance, you might have the customer on the line if you're the sales manager, and they want to know whether you can produce product X and get it out to them by a specific date. So you can come into this area of the screen and create a virtual production order, which is called a what if order, and see if you have the capacity, materials and resources to schedule that and meet that customer's requested due date. So that is a what if order, and you can perform simulations there to see what the impact would be on capacity. Now, very quickly at the bottom, this is the graphical planning board, and the graphical planning board is displaying time increments within a planning horizon. Capacity is measured in hours. So what you're seeing here are your work centers, and each work center has a shift associated with it. So here you can see this blue color is working time, yellow is non-working. So we've got a shift starting at 4, ending at 8 p.m. with an hour's lunch. We also can see the number of resources in that work center, whether it's employees, machines. You'll see those resources there, which are consumed when we start scheduling production orders. So at the moment, this is my standard shift. I can go off and create different shifts for different work centers. I'm looking at my planning board in 1 hour increments. I can zoom out or to see the entire planning horizon, or zoom back out to see increments of 1 minute only. So you can zoom in, zoom out very easily and see how each of your work centers is loaded. By doing that, it makes it very easy to see. You can see the percentage of available capacity on each work center down the left hand side. All I'm going to do now is just very quickly just take this production order. I'm going to load the required resources because it will know what they are, and I'm just dragging it down to the planning board. This is drag and drop. Let's take another one, move it there, drop it on there, a bit bigger this one, you can see it. Yeah, so here's the production order. There's the first operation. First operation actually needs a tool, so you can see if that tool wasn't available, you would be able to schedule this production order. So it's considering secondary constraints there, and then you have the third operation second and third operation scheduled in sequence on the planning board. And again, I can move this around, reschedule, unschedule. The important thing is to see that we've got a yellow thumbs up with a new start date, new due date based on where that's scheduled. Again, we can overlap operations. We can have parallel operations there as well. So very easy to use. And I'm going to take a whole bunch of these production orders just because we need to get some scheduled. I'm going to auto schedule, take all of this demand, all 41 production orders. Again, I've not set any priorities. I've not sorted group my data. I could do this from here as well, but you know, I can forward schedule, forward load my capacity, backward schedule from the original requested due date. I can schedule to alternative work centers. So for instance, you might have a CNC machine that's the primary work center, but that's full to capacity today or has gone down. You might want the flexibility to schedule to an alternative CNC machine. That's a possibility here. All I'm going to do is drop these onto the planning board, forward scheduling. Again, I could resort this, but I'm going to get them on the board. And you can see now, you can see some of our capacity. Well, in this work center, we're down to 0.7% availability. Again, just by zooming in, zooming out, you can see how each of your work centers is loaded. There's the end of my planning horizon. Again, I can extend that and do other things with it. But once I've created this plan, if I'm happy with it, all I'm going to do is save and publish the plan like this. And what that does is pushes these new start and end dates back to Business One. So if you go back into Business One, you'll see new start dates and due dates on the production order. It most likely will be then released. Okay, so it'll come in as planned, possibly then released. Now this plan is visible across the business when we go into the dispatching screen. So we're looking at first a dashboard that shows me for a particular range. So let's say for this month, there's our loading. A loading again is a metric that's used in one of the key performance indicators. There's our calendar hours, our operating hours, our shift hours, and our scheduled hours. So we're 16% loaded, most loaded, least loaded work centers, and then we're looking at our order fulfillment. So for this month, 37 production orders, 26 are scheduled. I can drill into these, and 29 in progress, nothing running late. That's the first dashboard. And then we're into the online Gantt view plan, which again, a lot of our customers will have on a big 60-inch monitor on the wall, which this is dynamic in that it's connected with the shop floor data capture. So just as an example, if you look at this particular production order, operation 3 here. If I hover over it, you can see the green background is the actual labor time. So we have 30 hours planned, but we're at 25 and a half hours at the moment. So we're on target. And the blue bar stretching across the bottom is the actual quantity against the planned quantity. We planned 15, we're coming up to 13 as we speak. And the red tip there indicates there are production issues against this production order. So someone out on the shop floor, maybe multiple reasons why this has been affected by issues, problems. And from here, if I wanted to, again, you know, you've got a tablet PC or you want to drill into the production order, you just click on it with your finger and it will open up into what's called a job card. And this would show you, there's the production order. If it was linked to a sales order customer, you'd see that detail there. What it is you've got to make: planned hours, actual hours, remaining hours. Here are the stages, the operations, and you can see their progress, the materials, in this case, they've been issued. If this was related, had related production orders to it, you'd see their progress, any production issues. Again, if this had documents associated with it as a production order, you'd see the documents that are associated with it as well. Again, look at the schedule for that production order. Here it is. And again, so that we're into this online Gantt style view production plan. You can look at it in list view. So by work center, you can see what's scheduled this month for this particular work center. Here are all the production orders. You can see progress overall. Nothing today because we haven't clocked into anything yet. But again, great way to see the status of your production orders. You know, don't even need a license to view this type of information. You can even print a plan off. Then we've got our equipment plan. So again, you know, let's look at this as an example. Here's equipment loading. There's our loading, productive and operating percentages. There's our operating hours, productive hours, and downtime. Here's the plan for that particular resource. And again, I can click and view that information, look at the plan on each day if I wanted to, while this is out there. So then I could look at production status. So this gives you, any one of you really, of all live production orders. And again, in a grid like this, I can sort, group, filter, export out. I can customize and bring in other data into this view. But we've got some canned filters. I'm going to look at all production orders that are in progress or late, scheduled, and so on. So let's look at the ones that are scheduled, and you can get this type of view. You can see the ones that have issues recorded against them out on the shop floor. You can see their status. So this is dispatching. Once we get through dispatching, you can look at the data capture side of things. So we're in this area of the product, and we're going to go into what's called a workbench terminal. These are highly configurable terminals. These are my terminals. We've got a terminal at the entrance of the building. So, you know, when an employee arrives or when they leave, they can clock in, clock out, and we can often replace any time clocking systems or integrate with them. We also capture lots of labor data, so we can have the labor data passed to payroll applications like ADP, and there's others out there. So the employee's logging into the building. Here he is, George. Then he's going off to his place of work. So there's a terminal down on the shop floor where which is configured for him to work in. Here's George now in indirect downtime. He's idling, but George is set up so that he can work in these areas. So he's going to go to this assembly area, click on start, the machine there, and now you can see the list of scheduled production orders for this particular work center. George is going to touch the screen, press start, so he's going to start this production order, and you can see both the machine, or the line in this case, is in direct uptime production, so we're capturing machine time, and you can see we're also capturing labor time against this production order. And you know, he can go off and work somewhere else, or he could look at his view like this. Yeah, so there's again, these are highly configurable terminals. You can add, remove buttons, make it as simple as you like. But yeah, if we go back here, you can also see there's an attachment there that allows him to open up an attachment. So there may be a drawing, or seems to be there it is. Yeah, there's the drawing. So yeah, it could be a URL link to a doc management system with revision control. So it could be any of those things there. And while that's running, you might want to report production. And this is manual data capture. We support serialized lotted bin control environments for traceability. It's going to report scrap as well. So you're going to see a quality loss here as a result of that. And he might want to print a label or change the status of the production order here. It's just reporting. It's telling me his execution speed deviates from the standard. In other words, you're reporting production faster or slower than the standard you've defined in Business One. Why is that? Give me the reason, and so on. So you can do that. They're the reasons. And you might want to open up a QC form at this point. Hopefully this will load. Yeah, and this is where we're using a Microsoft Power BI here for this form. You take a photo, it saves that information against the production order operation. So that's manual data capture, and there is obviously a possibility to run automatic data capture. So for instance, this particular resource is enabled for automatic data capture. So if we show you that very quickly, because I'm sure we're getting close to running out of time here. So where is it? This one. So this particular resource has a Siemens S7 PLC controller on it, and I'm going to run a quick simulation to show you what this potentially looks like. So 05 like this. So if you have machines that are enabled for automatic data capture, then that's something that we obviously can work with you on. So now you'll see OPC tags coming off the machine for quantity. It could be for serial numbers. It could be for the status of the machine, if it goes down and so on. So yeah, this is automatic data capture, which obviously the transactions would update Business One. In most of these transactions would. So I'm going to stop this because it actually does that. And that was data capture. Then we can look at tracking. So if I'm looking at my tracking, who's doing what, where, and when, I see my orders, my products. This is my OLE, sky high at the moment because we reported production within a second or two of starting that production order, much faster than the standard there. You can see that being the issue. And then over to the right-hand side, you've got your overall equipment effectiveness. We're at 51% at the moment. Now I'm going to look at my employees. You can see a picture of all your employees and who's working. If it's red, they're in downtime. Yellow, they're in setup. And again, you can drill in as a supervisor and see exactly what this employee is doing when they clocked in. You can even move them to another crew if you wanted to end their day or put them in break. We can have the system set up to automatically clock everyone out at 1 o'clock to go to lunch or 5 o'clock to go home. So no one's left at a terminal for too long. Again, we can look at our equipment status. I've got most of them off at the moment, but yeah, you would see something like this. Again, some of our customers will have screens above the machine. So if you're across the factory floor, you can see that a machine is down. It will be red. You probably receive an alert as well that the machine's down. There'll be a signal to let you know that. And again, you can drill in like this and see exactly what's going on. Again, we actually reported 29 pieces, automatically from that automatic data capture that you saw just a minute ago. So that's manual and automatic data capture, tracking. Then we've got continuous improvement. So if we look at continuous improvement, and it's probably one of the most powerful areas of the software here. Before we finish the demo, what this is loss management by equipment, but can equally be by employee for the month of January. And what you're seeing at the bottom of the screen, the reason why your resources were not 100% effective for 100% of the time. Loading loss or planned loss is all to do with planning and scheduling. So clearly there's a lot of idle time here, over 3,000 hours of idle time for that month, where those machines, the equipment, were not being scheduled effectively. And then you've got availability losses. This is essentially your uptime versus your downtime, and the reasons there are all categorized, quantified. Again, this is all drillable, so you can get to the root cause of the issue. And then you've got performance losses. This is uptime versus downtime, again, as measured against your standards that you define within Business One. You saw me recording production slower, and there were reasons why I was recording production slower or faster. And then not everything you produce is of the right quality, and of course these are my scrap reason codes that you see there on the screen. But in the middle, you're looking at your calendar hours, and effectively, you end up with effective hours calculated based on the good quantity produced for selected resources and time period. So again, you see your losses there. Can't do much about your shift loss. That's more to do with running a 24/7 shift, or a 12-hour shift a day. There's only a little loss there, but you can see all the other losses: loading loss, availability, performance, quality losses, all drillable. But we've got an 85% loss. If we look at that in terms of hours, there's our hours lost that month. Again, in my applications, I've got a 35 or 25 cost rate per hour, whether it's an employee or a machine. You can put your own rates into Lynq to understand the financial loss that might be occurring because of these losses. And again, if you can improve the effectiveness of your resources by a mere 5%, it typically pays for the software in well under 6 months. So that's something, just by minimizing losses, improving resource effectiveness, the payback is very quick indeed. Okay, so if we want to then look at OEE for that month, let's look at OEE. It's 67%. Where's that 33% gone is the question, really. And you can see these are the reasons why your OEE is not as high as it should be. And then of course you can look at that by individual resource, and why is this one at 56%? Maybe we had a problem with that machine during that period. The same could be said if you were looking at your OLE, overall labor effectiveness. Why aren't we higher this month? Again, you can start benchmarking, looking at performance. All of this information, by the way, starts to build as soon as you're using the product to plan and schedule production and capture data on the shop floor. There's the loss profile, and again, you can look at that. I clicked on the wrong one there, by employee. Yeah, so you can look at that by employee and see that someone needs training, or someone needs a little bit more help, or there was a problem on that day. Again, this is all drillable. Same really with your products. You might want to look at your products, and in terms of the performance there, you've got all of this information to hand. If I want to look at quality information, I could do that as well, and drill into each stock code and get a picture of the quality against that part that has been recorded there. There's a full document library there where you can associate documents with production orders, work centers, with products, employees. So you can, as I say, attach documents there, run a paperless shop. You've got a message center. There are all sorts of other settings there that you have there. But essentially, this is a single solution, highly configurable, integrates tightly with Business One, HANA, and SQL. And if you want to see a more detailed one-to-one demonstration, we'll happily do that for you. No problem at all. So that's the demo part out. I'm just going to go back to my slide. So let's look at this one. Hopefully you're still seeing my screen. So why invest in Lynq? The impact of factory automation, digitalization using Lynq to drive resource effectiveness is significant. Here are some of the benefits our customers realize. So reduction in labor costs, reduction in defects and errors. You can see where huge savings can be made, huge improvements there. So in terms of the ROI, in just 6 months, single solution to optimize manufacturing workflow, fast payback, often in less than 6 months, from an increase in effectiveness of resources being managed, and of course, minimization of loss. It's quick to deploy. It can often take less than 12 weeks. Typically, the planning and scheduling, you can get up and running in about 4 weeks. If you implemented the rest of it, probably about 12 weeks on average, with a couple of sessions, 2-hour sessions a week would be about 12 weeks. We have free trials. We'll talk about that in a minute, but that's available. It's configurable, sophisticated next-gen technology, easily configured for any industry. Again, we are job shop, batch, mixed mode, production line, we discrete process manufacturing, we support all of those. It's insightful, again, out of the box, world-class factory performance analysis, loss visualization at your fingertips there, and the ability to automate data capture from machines and other devices. So that's what we provide in a nutshell. Hopefully this has been useful. I know it's been at 100 miles an hour, but yeah, any questions so far?
It hasn't been thus far, but there is a notes, a chat feature available for you to type any questions you like, or if anyone wants to raise their hand, more than happy to switch on the microphone and we can have an interactive session. But I think we'll carry on while we're waiting, John.
Yeah, so what I was going to say is something that's available to your clients, Alan, is this 30-day free trial. Okay, so for customers that have Business One in place, they have master data in place, bills of materials, products, route stages, etc. We are providing a free trial, 30-day trial of the Lynq MES platform. So it's installed, configured. We sit with you and understand what you do, so we configure it in the right way. We provide training so that you have, once the training is finished, you have 30 days to evaluate the product, to see whether it's the right fit for you. Completely free of charge. If you don't think it is the right fit, you can walk away, obviously uninstall the product. But if you think it's the right fit, then obviously you can continue with the use of it. There'll be a quotation on the product and so on. But that is available to customers that are using Business One currently, that have the master data prerequisites in place. It's a really good offer. You're working with our manufacturing expert consulting team and Ascari. So this is a valuable exercise in itself, certainly to see whether a solution like this would be useful in your business. As I mentioned, again, we're happy to set up one-to-one demonstrations. We can configure those demonstrations or tailor them based on your requirements. If possibly a sample of your data would be required, but we can do demonstrations like that, or we can do a more generic overview again, but perhaps in a bit more detail at a slower pace if that is required. But you can find us on the SAP Marketplace. Come and visit the Lynq MES website. Lots of valuable information on there. Speak to Ascari, if you're interested in diving deeper, learning more. Happy to just have a chat about your business and some of your challenges, and go from there, really.
Yeah, one quick question for you, John, if you don't mind. So we've got a number of our customers on this webinar at the moment, and
yeah,
many of our customers are in the manufacturing sector. But where do you think the sweet spots are for wanting to upgrade from standard Business One with maybe a couple of add-ons to something more with more coverage like this has?
Yeah, I think obviously with standard Business One, there's obviously some gaps there, which I think Lynq fills. So if you're wanting to extend your current investment in Business One, and you're in the manufacturing space, this could be a really good investment. Whether you want to, as a specific problem area, it might be, planning and scheduling. If you're working with Excel spreadsheets and whiteboards of subjective knowledge, you want to get away from that and start on the journey to digitalize your factory. That could be a good starting point. But yeah, it's the product really is there to that extends and enriches Business One with this plug and play solution that again is, you're not recreating the wheel. You're using standard Business One master data capabilities there, and we're just connecting to your database via the certified integration, and really a tool for your shop floor, for your production planners and managers, supervisors, to give that visibility of your manufacturing and capabilities there.
Brilliant. All right. Well, thanks very much, John. I'll just finish off with our last slide here. From the point of view of contacting us, it's very easy, as John said. Both of us work really closely together. We are more than happy to spend more time with you investigating whether this is the right solution for you. It's certainly a huge advancement over what you can do in standard SAP Business One, which is what is the major benefit. Is it's going to give you enhanced reporting, better knowledge, better decision making, and really from there allowing you to take your businesses further. But if you have any questions, please reach out. Either reach out to myself or John, or you can contact Simone, your account manager. We're more than happy to help. So thank you very much for attending. And there are no questions, John. I think we'll close here, and thanks again.
Thank you. Thanks for the opportunity. All the best.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.